This is clever stuff.
Getting an LLC for your business doesn't have to look like this. Just Google LLC Taylor Brands. Totally easy.
And I do it for two reasons. I sincerely wish to win, but I do it for another very sincere reason. I wish for you to lose. And that's noble on my part. Here's why it's noble. You learn more by losing than you do by winning. So I wish to give you that experience. Now, here's how I do it once I understand the law of averages. When I'm new, I make up in numbers what I lack in skill. I make up in numbers what I lack in skill. Now, who can do that? Anybody that's ambitious. Anybody with a little ingenuity. Anybody. Doesn't matter. Now, here's one more. The law of averages can be increased. You get 1 out of 10, talk to 10, get another one. Talk to 10, get another one. The fourth time you talk to 10, you get 2. Why would the fourth time you talk to 10, you get 2 instead of 1? You're getting better. You're getting better. And who can get better? Anybody. Talk to 10, get 2. Talk to 10, get 2. Finally, talk to 10, get 3. I finally got up to about 3. Now, it takes more than a genius to go past like 3 or 4. But 3 will do. If you bat 300 in baseball, they pay you $4 million a year, which means you're out 7 times out of 10. 7 times out of 10, out. Make $4 million a year. Are you ready for that? So this works so well now in your business. Just jot the phrase down. You don't have to bat 1,000. You don't have to bat 1,000 to make big money. 1 out of 10 is fine. 2 out of 10 is terrific. 3 out of 10 is fabulous. Some particular incredible genius might get 4 out of 10, but 3 out of 10 is sufficient to make you rich beyond your wildest imagination. This is how I went after my friends, neighbors, and relatives when I first started recruiting. I said, look, I've got a new business and I'm getting about 3 out of 10 to join. And I don't mind you, just come to the meeting and be one of the 7. Right? Doesn't matter. You're my friend, you'll do me a favor. And so it's not important to me that you like it. It's not important to me that you join. It's certainly not important to me that you buy. It's just important to me that you listen. One of the reasons, though, I want you to hear the story is because a year from now, if I'm doing well, I don't want you to say, how come you never picked up the phone a year ago? I never got a letter, never got a call. You call me a friend? You're making all this money? You never picked up the phone. So I don't want that to happen. So for 2 reasons, I want you to see what I'm doing. So the year from now, if I'm doing well, I can say, you know, I gave you the opportunity. But also, just as a favor, come and be one of the 7. It doesn't matter to me if you buy or join. But I need 10 to get 3. And if you're one of the 3, wonderful. If you're not, wonderful. It might matter to you. It might matter to you, but it doesn't matter to me. Now, it matters to me because we're friends, but it doesn't matter in terms of my averages. So if you decide to get rich, just learn the law of averages. You're off and running. Now, here's the second law that changed my life forever in network marketing. I learned the law of sowing and reaping. And in the law of sowing and reaping is also the story of the law of averages. Jot this down. The story of the sower comes from the Bible. I'm an amateur on the Bible, but this is such a useful story. Here's what the story says. And take the notes because the drama's in the details. The sower was ambitious. Evidently, he was ambitious. When you read the whole story, you'll conclude, yes, this was an ambitious sower. Here was number 2. He had excellent seed. The sower who sowed the seed had excellent seed. And the excellent seed can be an excellent opportunity, an excellent product, an excellent story. So we've got an ambitious sower with excellent seed. But now here's the rest of the details of the story. For your information, for the drama of your life, so you can understand things better. Learning some of this is how I got rich by age 31. Okay. Number 1, it says the sower goes out to sow the seed, but the first part of the seed falls by the wayside and the birds get it. So jot this down. The birds are going to get some of the seed. The birds are going to get some of the seed. Now you say, well, Mr. Arnold, what does that mean? Well, I invite John to come to a meeting. He said he'd be there Tuesday night. Tuesday night I show up, John isn't there. I say, John, I wonder why John didn't make it. Now I know the answer. The birds. The birds. John had this great idea of coming to the meeting to look at an opportunity, and somebody stole it and said, you're not going to go see network marketing. And he says, well, maybe not. So have you jotted that down now? The birds are going to get some. Now, when the birds get some, you've got two options. Number one is to chase birds. And say, well, let me get a hold of the person that talked him out of coming to the meeting. I'll tear him a new page. But I wouldn't do this. Here's what happens if you go chasing birds. You leave the field. If you go chasing birds now, you leave the field, which is going to distract from your future, not add. So you can't chase birds and try to straighten this stuff out. Here's what it is. It's just one of those things. And here's the best comment when things are a little disappointing. Isn't that interesting? You just have to say, I thought sure he would be there. He promised me. He promised me. But I know it was the birds. And you just have to say, isn't that interesting? Now, here's the rest of the story. It says, the sower kept on sowing. See, that was the secret to his success. He kept on sowing. And if you keep sowing, you can sow more than the birds can get because there aren't enough birds. If you keep sowing, there are some birds, but there's not enough because the law of averages will work for you. My mentor taught me, he said, you know, Mr. Owen, there's only 9 or 10 real nasty, miserable people in the whole world. Now he says they move around a lot, you know, and you're liable to... You'll bump into one once in a while. But when you bump into one, you say, there's only 9 more like you. I can handle that in the whole world. Okay. Now, here's what else it says. The sower now keeps sowing the seed. Now the seed falls, the story says, on rocky ground where the soil is shallow. And the rocky ground where the soil is shallow is not of your making. Because you had excellent seed and you were an ambitious sower. So the rocky ground where the soil is shallow is not of your making. But here's what it says, what happened. This time, the little seed that falls in the ground starts to grow. And the little plant starts to grow. But the first hot day, it withers and dies. It dies. Not an easy thing to watch. I finally get John started. Sure enough, 3 or 4 days later, somebody says, boom, and he goes, he's gone. Doesn't show up at the second meeting. And I say, I thought sure John would last a week. What happened? Jot this down. The hot weather is going to get some. And this is not of your making. Here's what you must say when that happens. Isn't that interesting? Wow. What can you do? The answer is nothing. You say, well, I'm going to try to change this. I wouldn't take that class. You know, the sun comes up in the east. Somebody says, why is that? I wouldn't spend much time on that. Just let that happen. Don't go for this why stuff. I'm giving you the answers here. The answers is in the structure and the consequences and in the deal. The answer is in the deal. Anything beyond that is not worth studying. You say, well, how come some just last a little while? I wouldn't sign up for that class. Here's the answer. Some don't stay. You just have to jot that down. And when some leaves, you say, that's one of those that...
All right, guys, we're going to get the call started here in the next 3 minutes, family, 3 minutes. We're going to start at 9:15. So get the word out to everybody. We have a good topic here today that we're going to be going over, family. So I'm very, very excited for today's call. So let everybody know that the call will be starting in exactly 3 minutes, guys, 3 to 4 minutes, and we'll get the call started. Hope you guys are enjoying This audio is one of my favorite audios of all time. I've probably heard it 1,000 times. So keep spreading the word, fam. Let's spread it. Let's spread it. Let's spread it.
Don't stay. Now you know what category to put them in. And you can't solve this now. You can't, it's like rearranging the seasons. You can't fool with that. All you can do is cooperate with the way things are set up. I didn't set it up. You say, well, it shouldn't be this way. Well, when you get your own planet, you can rearrange this whole deal. But on this planet, you're a guest. You got to take it as it comes. Now, here was the secret to the ambitious sower with good seed. It said he kept on sowing. Now, here's what he had to do to keep on sowing. He had to discipline his disappointment. This is a key phrase now to use the rest of your life. You must learn to discipline your disappointment because you didn't set up the setup, and some are not going to stay, and that is not of your making. Now, if you made gross errors and you ran them off, see, that'd be different. Now, you're responsible for that. But if it's in the normal course of things, this is the way things are. Now, here's what it says. The sower keeps on sowing. Now it says the seed falls on thorny ground. And somebody says, well, how much of this do you have to go through? Well, hang on. It's not the end of the story now. Now the little seed falls on thorny ground. And now the little plant starts to grow again. But as the little plant starts to grow, the thorns choke it to death. And it dies. So jot this down. The thorns are going to get some. And that's not of your making. And what are these thorns? The story even called these little thorns, little cares, little distractions, little somethings. Who knows what all they are? I say, John, we had a meeting last night. You weren't here. John says, well, I can't make every meeting. I say, why not? You're part-time. He said, well, the screen door came off the hinges. And you just can't let your house fall apart. You got to take some time and fix things up. And I can hear the thorns go, He says some extra trash had piled up in the garage. You can't let mountains of trash take over. You got to keep your trash hauled out. People who let little things cheat them out of big opportunities. People who let little things cheat them out of big opportunities. And you feel almost helpless. What could I do about that? And that's nothing. And you say, well, why is this? I'm asking you not to sign up for that class. Don't sign up for these why is this class. It's just
The way it is.
It is. Like winter following fall and spring following winter. So if you got that, the thorns are going to get some. But now here's the good news. Let's read the rest of the story now quickly. The sower now what?
You drank some?
Keeps on sowing the seed. Keeps on sharing the story. Keeps on giving an invitation. Yes, the invitation can be more powerful for me as it was 1 year later than it was the first month. Because now I'm saying I'm making twice as much money part-time as I'm making on my full-time job. Yes, the story can be more powerful, but the law of average is still going to work. But now here's what the story said. Finally, the seed falls on good ground. Finally, the seed falls on good ground. Now put this in parentheses. It always will. If you keep sowing. If you share a good idea long enough, it will fall on good people. But now here's the rest of that story. Some of the good ground did 30%. And some of the good ground did 60%. And some of the good ground did 100%. You say, well,
all right, here we go. Here we go. There we are. What's up, familia? Grand Rising. Happy Monday. Hope everybody is having a blessed morning. I know I am. I'm feeling aligned. I'm feeling thankful. I'm feeling blessed. Feeling better than ever. Anytime. I don't know about you guys, but Mondays are my favorite days. I'm just super excited for today's class and for today's call overall. The rain got me a little bit downstairs, so messed up my curls a little bit, but you know, we're thankful. Happy Memorial Day as well. You know, extremely thankful for all who have, you know, served our country. We want to definitely give a huge thank you for those who have served our country. And it's, it's not just today that we thank them. We thank them always, because they put their freedom on the line, they put their lives on the line to make sure that we live this life. And anyone who's on this call who's served, we just want to say thank you for your service. Thank you for everything that you're doing. And we're extremely thankful for all of you. But we're so grateful for life. Life is amazing. Life is blessed. Life is just working in our favor always. And it's beautiful that we get a chance to, live this life filled with abundance, filled with love, filled with service. And I think we should all just, type in the chat box, thank you for your service, for all who have actually served our country. Let's pay our respects. They didn't have to, but they did. And us showing our respect, I think, is very important that we do so. So let's pay our respects. Thank you for their service. Yes. And let me get this set up as well. And then also in the meantime as well, let's type down what is one thing that we are grateful for in the chat box. Okay, one thing that we're grateful for in the chat box. Type it in there. All right, dope. What's one thing? The name of the audio is Jim Rohn, How to Build Your Network Marketing Business. Okay, Jim Rohn, How to Build Your Network Marketing Business was the video, that audio that I was playing before this. And I'm excited. But let's talk about one thing that we're grateful for. I am grateful for life. I'm grateful for God. I'm grateful for my mom, my dad, my little brother, my goddaughter, Dariana. I'm extremely grateful for my team, the leaders within my organization. I'm grateful for Katie. I'm grateful for Hazel, who drives me crazy sometimes, but I love her so much. I'm grateful for the house that I live in. I'm grateful for um, the clothes I get to wear. I'm grateful for the systems in my body, the food I get to eat, the people I get to develop, the relationships in my life, the people who love me in my life. I'm grateful for them. I'm grateful for God's grace. Grateful for the wisdom that is being provided with us on a day-to-day basis. Grateful that God has used me as one of his vessels to spread the word. Grateful for the rain. I love the rain. I don't know about you guys, but one thing about me, I do love the rain. So today is one of those days for me that I really enjoy, because I love the rain so much for some reason. I think it's the Pisces in me, I guess. But I love the rain. So what book is that? You guys got me. It's actually not a book, it's a journal. And it's FG. Forgot what it's called. I forgot what it's for actually. Let me see. FGMB. I think it's From Something Millionaire to Billionaire. That's what it is. Something FG. I haven't even opened it yet. It was actually a gift. So I'm super excited. I have a good topic for us today, and I wanted to talk about emotional intelligence today because last night I was watching a Tom Brady documentary, and I only watched like a little bit of it, but in that little bit, I was able to pick up on something that he said that really stuck with me. And one of the things that he talked about in the documentary was he talked about, he said his mental ability he always developed. His physical ability was something he was always able to develop over time, and something that he was good at. But what he said was the hardest thing about doing of playing football long term was his emotional intelligence. And your emotional intelligence, guys, I'm gonna tell you guys right now, it's more important than your own knowledge. Okay, they say that EQ is more important than IQ. Okay, so EQ is more important than IQ. So EQ is your emotional intelligence, right? IQ is, your intelligence when it comes to knowledge, okay, in general. So your EQ is definitely more important than your IQ. And I want you guys to write that down because, you know, I want to talk about this today because we're in a business, we're on a journey that, our emotions are attacked regularly. Every day we need to have emotional intelligence. From the moment you wake up, like the moment you wake up, your emotional intelligence is put to the test. Because if you think about it, look at it like this, right? Emotional intelligence works like this, right? You wake up, you have two choices, right? Stay in bed and hit the snooze button, or wake up and get to work, right? If you're emotionally intelligent at the time and you are aware, you know to make the right decision. You know you got to get up and get to work and start your morning routine. But if you tend to fall back into your old ways, into your own habits, what tends to happen is you end up falling back to bed because you react, you let your emotions get the best of you instead of you logically making a decision that is going to make the best and basically give you the best result. So emotional intelligence is happening from the moment you wake up. It happens from the moment you wake up. Your emotional intelligence is tested. Okay, and I want you guys to remember that, and it has nothing to do with the training. I just want to make sure that you guys understand that every day our emotional intelligence is tested. Okay, now I want to say a few things before I jump into the training, because today we're going to talk about the 4 levels of emotional intelligence, and I'm going to break them down and I'm going to relate it to the business. Okay, I'm going to relate it to the journey and the things that we go through in this business so you guys can understand it on a deeper level. But I just want you to know that during this journey there is going to be a lot of times that your emotional intelligence is going to be tested. Okay, a lot of people ask me, Nano, how can I develop good emotional intelligence? And the only way that you can develop good emotional intelligence is through experiences. You got to put yourself in more experiences where your emotional intelligence is tested and you actually make the right decision instead of making the wrong decision. That's how I've been able to develop my emotional intelligence. I have my brother KD, who all the time comes up to me. He tells me, bro, God bless your emotional intelligence. Like the way you just handle everything, the way you're able to stay calm and make the right decisions and be able to differentiate, one thing from another, and, being able to put yourself outside of the situation instead of inside of the situation is super dope. And, I'm always grateful that he tells me that because he actually realizes it, right? He realizes how I'm able to just maneuver through a lot of the situations that happen in my life, and I'm able to stay calm and all of those things. But guess what, guys? I wasn't always like that. And I'm not going to tell you guys that I've mastered emotional intelligence, because I definitely haven't. But what I will tell you is that, I always look to develop my emotional intelligence in every situation that happens in my life. Okay. And one of the easiest ways to develop that emotional intelligence is knowing when you're going to react and knowing when you're going to respond. Okay. And reacting versus responding is very important when it comes to emotional intelligence. Okay. Because remember, when you react, that's based off of your emotion. Majority of the time, when you react, you're almost wrong almost every time. Okay. Because you're letting your emotion get the best of you. And at the time, your emotions may not always be right. Okay. But when you respond, okay, you're thinking logically. Okay. So that's why they say think before you act. Okay. That's why they say that, think before you act. All right. Because sometimes if we go based off of emotion, we're going to make the wrong decision. We're probably going to sin. We're probably going to do the wrong thing. But if we go based off of logic and we actually think about the situation, we look at it from different perspectives, okay, and then we make a decision, that decision is definitely going to be more sound. Okay. So I'm going to cover the 4 levels of emotional intelligence here today. And I want you guys to really take notes on this. And I really want you guys to listen to this training. This will probably be one of the most powerful trainings and one of the most valuable trainings that you get all summer. Because if you can get your emotional intelligence in place before the summer comes, because before the summer comes, you'll have a great summer. Now, the reason why I say that is because the summer is very emotional. The summer is very distracting, and it's easy to fall into the partying and the going out and the staying out late and the chilling with your friends, and you can get caught up in that. Okay, and a lot of it is going to be reaction, right? We call it um pleasure, peace over pleasure, right? You gotta always pick the peace over the pleasure. Okay, so for example, let me give you guys an example of peace over pleasure, right? It's almost reacting versus responding. All right, pleasure, what is an example of pleasure? Right, me staying in bed is pleasure. Peace is me waking up and going doing my morning routine. Okay, because I woke up and I went and did my morning routine. Now I'm at peace. I'm like, man, I did my morning routine, I did my reading, I did my journaling. That's peace. But pleasure is, well, my alarm went off. It's still 7 a.m. You know what? I can sleep until mornings with Nano. Okay. And I'll just wake up around 8:50, 9 o'clock, and I'll jump on mornings with Nano. Let me stay in bed. That's called pleasure. Majority of the time, pleasure comes from your emotions. It comes from a reaction. Peace comes from a logical decision. And because you made that logical decision, now you're at peace because you, man, damn, I'm so thankful I made that logical decision. Okay. You guys got to understand the difference between the both, right? Is this situation going to bring me peace or is it going to bring me pleasure? I pick peace over pleasure every time. And that's how you guys got to be. You got to pick peace over pleasure every single time. And that's mad important when it comes to emotional intelligence. Now, let's talk about the 4 levels. All right. The 4 levels are very important. And even if you've heard this training before, even if you heard it before, even if you know the 4 levels, remember, guys, repetition is the key to everything. Okay. Repetition is the key to everything. All right. So let's go over the 4 levels of emotional intelligence. Okay. The first level is self awareness. Okay. Self awareness is the first level of emotional intelligence. Okay. Now, what is self awareness? Write this down. Self awareness is the ability to know yourself and understand your feelings. That's what self awareness is. It is the ability to know yourself and understand your feelings. The ability to know yourself and understand your feelings. All right. You got to be able to understand this stuff, family. This is so important. Okay. Why do I say that? Because every single one of you, we must always know what's causing us to feel the way that we're feeling. Okay. We need to know that. That's awareness. What's causing you to feel the way that you feel today? All right. What's causing you to feel happy, loved, cared for? Right? What's causing you to feel excited? Right? Is it your goals? Is it the fact that you're getting closer to hitting your next goal? Is it the fact that you had a great day with your family? Was it the fact that you're starting to build that relationship with God? What is causing you to feel so good this morning? Is it the morning? Is it the great morning routine you had? Is it the great breakfast? Is it the fact that you're enjoying a nice coffee? That what's causing you to feel the way that you feel? That is awareness, right? But you also got to be aware of the things that are not causing you to feel good. What's causing you not to feel good? Why are you feeling bad? Why are you stressed? Why are you overwhelmed? Why are you frustrated? What's causing you to feel frustrated, sad, overwhelmed? Is it the fact that you've been stuck for months? Is it the fact that you thinking too much about the past? You haven't forgave that individual? Okay, you have to know why it is that you are going through the things that you're going through and you're having the feelings that you're having, because remember, we are talking about your emotions here. All right. And majority of our emotions are created by what we think. Remember, TEAR mindset, TEAR. Your thoughts will control your emotions. Okay. So if we need to have emotional intelligence, okay, a lot of us improving our emotional intelligence is going to be based on what we think about, because what we think about will control the way we feel. The way we feel will determine the actions that we take, and the actions that we take determine the results that we get. So you got to put yourself in a position where you're feeling good, where you're feeling blessed, because let me tell you guys something. If you think that you working on your business, you going about your day feeling bad, feeling sad and frustrated, any action you take is going to be fruitless. It's not going to create anything, because look at in the feeling that you are making those actions. If you're taking a action while being sad, it's not going to create anything. It's going to be hard for you to create something if you're doing it while you're sad, right? It's hard to create something when you're doing an action while you're stressed, while you're overwhelmed. It's a lot harder to do it that way. It's a lot harder to create because you are in a low vibration. So hard. Remember, we talked about the emotional guidance scale the other day, and we looked at the chart, right? In order for you to create, you got to be within the first 5 or 8 in the chart. I actually have it downloaded here. Let me I want to bring it up real quick just so we can see it again. But it's important that you take actions only, all right, and while you're in the higher vibrations, guys. So if we look at the emotional guidance scale, right, you want to be able to take, I would say, actions within the first 5, at least within the first 5 emotions, which is number 1 is joy, knowledge, empowerment, freedom, love, and appreciation. That's number 1. Number 2 is passion. Number 3 is enthusiasm. Number 4 is positive expectation and belief. And number 5 is optimism. All right. Then it kind of starts to, turn into green, which is like hopeful, which is kind of like half, contentment, which is almost like getting comfortable. And then number 8 gets into boredom, and 9, pessimism, and 10, frustration. Right. So if you think about it, guys, if we look at the emotional guidance scale, and I wish I could share my screen so you guys can see it, but I know you guys have pictures of it. The emotional guidance scale, once it hits level 8, right, it hits boredom, right? So think about it. You're already working your way down by the time you're at level 8 of the emotional guidance scale. And if for those who don't know what I'm talking about, just go on Google and go to the images and look up emotional guidance scale. Emotional guidance scale. Now, the emotional guidance scale starts to turn at boredom. That's when it starts to change, right? Because the moment you're bored, are you really passionate about what you're doing? I'm never bored, right? I'm not bored about doing mornings with Nano. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm not frustrated. What am I frustrated about? I live a beautiful life. There's nothing for me to be frustrated about. There's nothing for me to be disappointed about, right? I don't doubt anything. I'm not worried about anything. I don't blame anybody. I'm not discouraged. I'm not angry. I don't have revenge over anybody. I don't hate anyone. I'm not jealous about anybody. I'm not insecure, and I don't have any fear or depression. Think about that, guys. Think about how many of us have fear of the unknown. Think about how many of you guys have fear of stepping out of your comfort zones. Fear is the lowest vibration that you can have. Some of you guys, the fact that you are in fear of certain things, that's what's holding you back right there. Your emotional intelligence, majority of the time, is what's holding you back. This is what's holding you back right here. There's nothing else. If every day you don't wake up and you are not within the first 5 emotions of the emotional guidance scale, then that's one of the things that are holding you back. Just look at it yourself. Go on Google and look up the emotional guidance scale. Look it up. Look up the emotional guidance scale. If your emotions are not within the first 5, which is feelings of joy, freedom, love, passion, enthusiasm, positive expectation and belief, and optimism, there's a pretty good chance that you are taking actions that are not going to create anything. That are not going to create anything. And this is so important that everybody understands, because the time that we live in right now, the life that we are living right now, it's scary when you think about everything that's happening in the world, but you can't allow that to become a part of your reality, guys. And that's what I want to make sure that I teach you guys every time I come on here. All right. I do these calls for very specific reasons. Okay. It's not just to jump on and look cool. It's not just to show off my view. Okay. It's not for that. Right. I do it so I can wake you guys up and make you guys realize and make you guys self-aware of the things that you're doing that could be potentially holding you back. Because if we look at the emotional guidance scale, we look at the lowest vibration. The lowest vibration is number 22. Number 22 is fear, grief, which is extreme sadness, depression, powerlessness, and playing a victim. That you feel like life is happening to you, not for you. That's what a victim is. You think that life is happening to you. Oh man, this is happening to me. Family, I need you all to understand something. If you are in fear of anything, you are vibrating low. You cannot remember the things that you want. You got to stay with me right here. The things that you want in life, they create the feelings of the first 5 on the emotional guidance scale. If you have vibrations of fear, doubt, insecurity, any of those feelings, you will never, listen to me, never get to where you want to go to. It's impossible. It's literally impossible. You can't create your goals living in fear, living in doubt, living in insecurity, and living in depression. It's impossible. Now, I'm not sure the situation that you're going through in life, so I know that, it's very biased for me to hop on here and be like, yeah, and this and that. But my goal is not to be, pick a side. My goal is to give you guys the awareness, and then you take it from there. Because remember, I'm a mentor. I can't pick a side. I don't understand certain things. I don't even know some of you guys. So I don't know what your story is. I don't know the things that you're going through. I don't know how tough life is for you. And I know it's tough for some more than others. But all I can do is come on here and make you aware of the things that are going to make you successful, the things that you need to know. And this is one of them. And the self-awareness of your feelings is one of them, which is what we're talking about right now with your emotional intelligence. This is the first level of emotional intelligence, is understanding your self-awareness. You have to really understand this stuff. All right. You have to understand this stuff. You really have to sit there and be aware of what's going on in your life and know where you are on this emotional guidance scale. You have to know. You gotta know. You gotta know. And remember this. You can't defeat an enemy that you don't know. You can't defeat the enemy if you don't know the enemy. So you gotta make sure that you understand what is the enemy in your life. It's okay if you have fear. I've had fear. I've had feelings of doubt. I've been you I don't want you guys to think that I'm jumping on this call and I've always been in the upward spiral and I've always lived in the first 5 emotions. No, 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 no. No, absolutely not. I've been all the way down to level 22 in the emotional guidance scale. I've had fear. I've had extreme sadness and depression. I've had insecurities. All right. I've never been jealous of anybody. I've never really hated anybody, but I've had discouragement. I've had worry. I've had blame. I've doubted myself. I felt overwhelmed, disappointed, frustrated. Right. I've been in those feelings. Right. I've had those feelings as well. Okay. And I want you guys to know that I've been in your shoes. Remember, in order for me to take you guys to a place that you've never been, I have to start where you are. And that goes with anybody, right? In order for you to take people from a place that they are to a place that they've never been, you got to start exactly where they are. So I want you all to know that I've had those feelings before. I've had fears of if I'm going to make it, if I'm going to be able to become that successful individual. I've had fear of a lot of things. Am I going to fail? Am I going to die? Fear of all these things. A lot of fears. I've been depressed by the fact that I've lost my rank. I went from making $12,000 a month to making $1,000 a month. I went through depression during that. I went through stress over that. I went through a lot of things during that time. Okay. There was a lot of things that I went through in time. There was times that I doubted myself. There were times that I was insecure about myself. Okay. So I've been in those emotions. But what I want all of you to understand is that you can get yourself out of that and now live in those feelings of joy, abundance, empowerment, positive anticipation. And there's a few ways to do it, but one of my ways and what has been my secret to all of my success, it has been my morning routine. It's been my morning routine. My morning routine has been what has gotten me to the first 5 levels of the emotional guidance scale. That's why I live a life of joy, knowledge, empowerment, freedom, love, and appreciation. I'm so passionate about what I do. I always have enthusiasm towards what I do, right? Positive expectation and belief. I'm very optimistic, okay? Like every day, I do my best each and every single day to keep my emotions within those first 5. That's my self-awareness. But remember, I'm aware of it. Because at the same way that there's 4 levels of emotional intelligence, the same way there's 4 levels of learning. And now, at one point on this call, a lot of you guys didn't even know about the emotional guidance scale, right? Put a 1 in the chat box if you learned about the emotional guidance scale on Mornings with Nano within the last week, right? If this was the first time you ever saw the thing with the emotional guidance scale, right? Because I know I started talking about it last week. Look how many of you guys. So now if we look at the 4 levels of learning, right? Before this call, before this week, a lot of you were unconscious, incompetent about the emotional guidance scale. Unconscious, incompetent, which means you don't know what you don't know, so you can't do anything with what you know. Right? You didn't know anything. So you were unconscious, which means you don't know, and incompetent means you can't do. So you don't know and you can't do. Now you're at level 2 of learning, which is conscious incompetence, which means you know now about the levels. I mean, now you know about the emotional guidance scale. Okay, you know about the emotional guidance scale, but now it's up to you to take action on it. Okay, if you know about the emotional guidance scale, if you know that you got to live in joy, abundance, positive anticipation, if you know you got to live in that and you're not living in it, then that means that you are consciously incompetent about it, which means you know, which is consciousness, but incompetent means you don't do. This is important. Now, where we all need to get to is to level 3 of the 4 levels of learning, which is conscious competence, which is you're aware and you're doing. You're aware and you're doing. You're aware and you're doing every day. You're working every day to get to that level 1. You really want to accomplish your goal. You really, really, really want to accomplish your goal. The only way you're going to do it is by living in the emotions between 1 and 5 in the emotional guidance scale. It's the only way. Because those are the feelings that you're going to get when you get your goal. Remember, the feeling is the what, guys? Type it in the chat box if you know the answer. The feeling is the, finish it for me. Feeling is the secret. Feeling is the secret. Why do we want to hit? Why do we want to make 7 figures? Why do we want to retire our families? Think about it. Why do we want to retire families? Why do we want to travel the world? Why do we want to give back to communities? Sit down and really think about what I'm answer the question as I'm talking to you guys. Why do we want those things? Why do we want to put our families in a better position? Why do we want to do all of these things? It's because of the feeling that is going to give us. It's fulfilling, Iman, right? That's the reason we want to do this, right? It's the feeling is going to give us. How happy are you guys going to be when you retire your family? How happy is it? How good of a feeling is that going to be, guys, when you give your mom and dad or whoever in your family that keys to the house? Like, here, mommy, here you go. How good is that going to feel? How fulfilled are you going to feel? How good is it going to feel when you're traveling all over the world to all the countries you've always wanted to visit? You wanted to go to Bali. You wanted to go to Thailand. You wanted to go to Costa Rica. You wanted to visit Dominican Republic. You wanted to go to Africa. How good is it going to feel traveling first class to all of these places and staying at the nicest resort? It's going to feel good. It's going to feel amazing. How good is it going to feel when you make your first 7 figures? How good is it going to feel knowing that your children are going to be able to live a better life than you did because you made sacrifices? You guys are going to feel amazing, right? You guys are going to feel joy. You guys are going to feel freedom, love, appreciation, passion, positive expectation and belief, enthusiasm. Those are the feelings you got to feel. So that's in the feelings that you got to live. That is what self-awareness is right there. It's the awareness that the things that you want are going to create these certain feelings and living in those feelings. That is what self-awareness is. That's what awareness is right there. Self-awareness is realizing, okay, what feelings my goals and my desires are going to create and living in those feelings. Why you think, guys, why do I show up on the call every day like this? Big smiles, family. I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm blessed. I'm like, why? Because those are the feelings that I'm going to feel when I accomplish those things. So I got to live in those feelings now. How am I going to get those things if I'm not living in them now? Yo, but Nano, I'm going through stuff. Nano, it's tough. Nano, this. It's tough for me. Trust me, it's hard for me. Trust me, it's even harder for me. Because the problems get bigger when you're higher up the board. So the more money, the more problems. Very true. It's hard for all of us. We all got our own things. That my mentor told me. He said, Nano, your problems aren't special. None of our problems are special. Everybody's going through things. You can say the one thing right now, and then you talk to the next person and find out that that person is going through worse things than you. So your problems aren't special. And that's what I had to understand, guys. That self-awareness changed everything for me. Okay. And the reason why I stay so much time on self-awareness is because you got to understand that one most importantly. That's a big one. Self-awareness. Okay. Self-awareness. All right. We got to live within those first 5 emotions. Put a 5 in the chat box if this whole week you're going to live in the emotions of the first 5 of the emotional guidance scale. If I were some of you, honestly, I would print out that emotional guidance scale and paste it in your wall somewhere. Paste it in your room somewhere. Live in that feeling every day. Every day. So that's number one, self-awareness. We're going over the 4 levels of emotional intelligence. Okay. Number 2 is self-management. Okay. Self-management. Self-management is the ability to manage the thoughts you're having on a day-to-day basis. Self-management is level 2 of emotional intelligence. Remember what we said? Thoughts control emotions. And we're talking about emotional intelligence. Self-management is the ability for you to manage the thoughts that you're having on a day-to-day basis. Now, Nano, how do I manage my thoughts better? I go back to it. Your morning routine. Okay. Whatever you feed your mind within the first 30 minutes to an hour of you waking up will determine the direction of your thoughts for the rest of the day. Write that down. Whatever you feed your mind within the first 30 minutes to an hour of waking up, that will determine the direction of your thoughts for the rest of the day. So whatever you feed your mind within the first 30, yes, self-management is number 2. Whatever you feed your mind within the first 30 minutes to an hour determines a lot. It's going to determine a lot. So if you wake up, grab your phone, get on Instagram, check messages, you lost. You lost. Your thoughts are not going to be the best throughout the day. If the first thing you do is wake up, get on Instagram, check Snapchat, check TikTok, answer messages, check emails, and an hour passes and all of this passes and you still haven't even poured into yourself anything at all, then I can already tell you the direction of your thoughts for the rest of the day. Because look at what you fed yourself. Look at what you fed yourself when you woke up. How do you expect you to have good thoughts throughout the day? Imagine waking up and looking at social media and looking up all these killings and things that bring you down, and you're done for. You're done for. So it's important that when you wake up, that's why I always tell people, it's important that within the first hour or 2 of you waking up, don't even use your phone. Do your best not even to use your phone. Especially if you're on your way to do, if you're looking to accomplish big things and you're trying to get yourself out of a difficult situation that you're in, don't use your phone within the first hour or 2 of waking up. The first thing you should be doing when you wake up is practicing gratitude and praying to God. Listening to successful audios. The moment I wake up, I put on Bob Proctor. I'm listening to his audios. Bob Proctor audios. Kevin Trudeau, I'm listening to his audios. I'm not listening to music, right? I'm grabbing my gold card. I'm reading my gold card. Okay? I'm going down to the beach. I'm doing my meditation. I'm clearing my mind of any thoughts that's not serving me. I'm visualizing my goals. I'm reading 30 minutes of a good book. I'm journaling my thoughts. And then I'm jumping on Mornings with Nano. And then after Mornings with Nano is when I check my messages, I check my Instagram, I check my this, and I check my that. So think about that. For hours, for 2 to 3 hours, I haven't answered no messages, nothing. Here and there, I might send a message to my team, like, yo, look, bro, I'm here. Grand Rising family. Boom. Like this morning, I send out a quick message to all the leaders in my chat. Hey, Grand Rising family, morning routine. We got to sign up this morning, so on and so forth. Right? So when they wake up with that. But most of the time, people won't hear from me until after Mornings with Nano. Because my mornings are sacred. I understand. Remember, guys, I am consciously competent every day working on this. because I learned about this years ago, and now I'm consciously applying it all the time. I know that one of the keys to my emotional intelligence is my self-management, how I manage my thoughts. Your thoughts have everything to do with your emotions. So I know if my thoughts are not in the right place, my emotions are not going to be in the right place. So I always work on my thoughts. My thoughts, my thoughts. Okay. How do I work on my thoughts? By the ideas that I'm impressing on it every day. That's how you work on it. It's easy. What are you reading every day? What are you listening to every day? What are you seeing every day? All of it. That's how you work on it. Is it okay to use your phone for audios and meditations? Yes, I use my phone for that. I'm not saying don't use your phone at all. Like, what I'm saying is don't use it for anything that's not for your morning routine. Like, I use it for I use YouTube for my meditation. I use my phone for the alarm. I use it to play my audio. But what I don't do is I don't go on Instagram, right? What I don't do is I don't answer messages. I don't use it for anything that's gonna take my energy or focus away. I don't use it for that. Okay. I only use it for the things that are gonna help me through my morning routine. If you're gonna help me through my morning routine, I'll do it. I like to take pictures while I'm on the beach. That's gonna help me through my morning routine because now I get to post it. I get to I get to hope, my team gets to see that I'm accountable and so on and so forth. But self-management is so important, guys. Very, very, very important. Like, I'm telling you, self-management is key when it comes to your emotional intelligence. Okay. When it comes to your emotional intelligence, it'll tell you a lot. Okay. So you got to make sure that you change the way that you think by the books that you read. Look, guys, my whole thing is filled with books. There's like 15, 20 books there. I always have books next to me at all times. Always. I do my best not to listen to music at all. While I'm in the shower, audios. When I'm in the car, audios. As much as you can, do it, do it, do it. The only time you'll ever catch me listening to music for real is if I really like a song and I'll just play it because I really like that song and it makes me feel good. Right? And it's important because regardless, I do want you guys to know this. Music is known as one of the things to raise your vibration. But you got to know what you're listening to as well. Okay? And this is super, super key. All right. Like, for example, one of the songs I've really liked lately is a Bad Bunny song, Ojitos Lindos. I love that song. So I play it every once in a while. Right. But that song makes me feel good. I like it. I sing it. It keeps me on a high vibration. Right. But I don't want to listen to songs that are gonna put me in a low vibration. And it's also known that it can lower it as well. So you got to make sure that you know what you're listening to, because there's a lot of things that happen um throughout the day and the things that we're listening to. All right. So make sure that your mornings are sacred. Sacred. Pray to God. Read your Bible. Listen to some audios. Practice gratitude. All of these things, do them every morning, and do your best not to be the person that wakes up and spends hours on their phone and making sure that you're always worried about what everybody else is doing, but you're not focused on what you're doing. And that's key. So that's number 2. All right. That's number 2. Number 3, level 3 of emotional intelligence is social awareness. Social awareness. Okay, social awareness has to do with understanding and acknowledging others' emotions. Understanding and acknowledging others' emotions. Social awareness was something that I needed to work on. early on, because I was somebody that, yeah, this is number 3. Number 3 is social awareness. So we've done 1 and 2 already. We said number 1 was self-awareness. We said number 2 was self-management. Okay, number 3 is social awareness. Okay, you got to understand and acknowledge others' emotions. Okay, and you got to remember, guys, we have a lot of people in our lives. We have families, we have friends, we have neighbors, we have kids, we have girlfriends, we have boyfriends. Okay, but you got to know how to understand their emotions. Okay, and my mentor once said this. He said, you can only meet someone as deeply as you've met yourself. You can only meet someone as deeply as you met yourself. And if you want to understand someone else's emotions, you got to understand yours first. Okay, and that's important, and that's key. Okay, you got to be able to understand a lot. Okay, because since, for example, if you're in network marketing, as an example, all right, we're always around people. Right, I'm always around people at all times. There's people at my house all the time. All the time, all the time, all the time. But you got to understand other people's emotions as well, and why they go through the things that they go through, and why they feel the way that they feel. And that goes back to what I told you guys earlier, right? The only way that I can take someone to a place that they've never been is by helping them start where they are. I got to start where they are. If my sister, Julie, is feeling bad about something, she's feeling down on something, I got to put myself in her shoes. I got to be like, look, sis, I've been here before. I know what this feels like. I know that. Me and her had a phenomenal conversation the other day. Great conversation. I needed to hear the things that I was telling her, right? But as we were having the conversation, right, I never, try to do something. I never try to like sit at the end of the finish line and be like, come, sis, regardless, you got to come. No, I went to where she was at, and I said, okay, this is how you're feeling. I know how you're feeling. I've been here before. Look, this is what we got to do. I didn't say this is what you got to do. I said, sis, this is what we got to do, because this is something that I'm also working on. That was my social awareness sinking in, right? Because in the past, the problem with me is that I wanted everybody to think like me, be like me, be a savage like me, be heartless, and that didn't take me very far. You got to know how to put yourself in the shoes of other people and learn how to walk them through the process. And that's mad important. That's super, super important. Okay. I understood the reason why my mom and dad were the way that they were with me. I knew it had nothing to do with, them doubting it or anything. It's just, I got to think about it. I'm like, yo, my parents are in their 60s. All they've known is work their whole life. They're a part of the system. They've been working for 20, 30 years. All they know is go to school, get a degree, get a job. That's the only winning formula for my family. So when I tell my family that I'm gonna run a business from home and make money from home, and like, it's gonna be tough. How is my family gonna be like, yeah, bro, of course, yeah, let's do it? Like, it was hard for my family to support me and believe in me when I was doing everything against what the normal is. Remember, guys, whenever you go on your road to success and you actually buy in, there's going to be so many people that call you crazy. There's going to be so many people that doubt you. There's going to be so many people that talk down on you. There's going to be so many people, all right, that really, really like get to you. There's going to be people that get to you. A lot of people that get to you. All right, but you got to know how to keep your social awareness in place. And you got to understand, and this was something that calmed me down, right? Something that one of my mentors said, he said, Nano, everyone is doing their best at their level of consciousness. Everyone is always doing their best at the level of consciousness that they live on. Remember, we all live on different levels of consciousness. And what do I mean by consciousness? What you know, what you think about. So I know that my mom and my dad, okay, they were doing the best that they could at the level of consciousness that they knew. That was the best advice that they could give me at the level of consciousness that they knew. They don't know what they don't know, so that was the best for them. And I had to understand that. I had to understand that, yo, they're doing their best. That's all they know. I can't even be mad at them. I can't even be mad at my mom and dad. They're doing their best, right? My friends on the streets, right? They're doing their best with what they know. All they know is those four corners. All they know is that. And I can't be mad at them for that because that's all they know. That's their level of consciousness. They're doing the best with what they know. And that social awareness is mad important. Once you understand that and you can accept that, yo, everyone is doing their best at the level of consciousness that they live in, you'll be more calm with yourself. You'll be a lot more calm when you see it that way. Think about it, guys. Even the people that join our business, just because they joined our business doesn't mean that they have a higher level of consciousness. No, it's not that. Bro, most people join this business, and think about that, guys. 80% of the people that will join today will be gone in 2 years. Only 7% of people will make it. So it breaks my heart to think about it because I'm like, damn, we have 500 plus people on this call right now. But if we do it by the numbers, right? If we do it by the numbers, that means that, let's say it was 500 on the call. Let's just say it was 500 people on the call. That means that 80% of you guys are not going to be here 2 years from now, which means only 20% of you guys may be here. And out of the 20, 7% will actually be the ones that make it. Those are the numbers. So if we do, what's 20% of 500? 100, if I'm not mistaken. That means that out of the 500 people on this call, only 100 people will be here. Only 100 people. Think about that, guys. You are on this call right now. 100 of you will be here 2 years from now. That's, as a matter of fact, out of the thousands of people that were on Mornings with Nano 3 years ago, trust me, there's not many people here that were here on Mornings with Nano 2019. If you were on Mornings with Nano 2019, put a 19 in the chat box. If you were on Mornings with Nano in 2019, when it started that year, put a 19 in the chat box. Truthfully, right? Truthfully, if you were, right? Look, only a few people. Only a few people. We could count it. We could literally count it right now how many people were on Mornings with Nano in 2019 when it started. Look at that. Look at this. And if we sit down and ask all these people, look, I could do the math. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Less than 30 people. Less than 30 people out of the 500 plus. Out of the 100, as a matter of fact, there were more in the past. Less than 30 people from the hundreds and thousands of people. There's only less than 30 people here from 2019. Sana's here. Sana's been here with me from day one. First year anniversary was crazy. Facts. This year anniversary is gonna be even crazier. But that's what I want you guys to see and remember, fam. This is what it's about. You got to make sure that you stand the test of time. Life has gone, look, a lot of things happen in life, but look at who's still here. Look at who's still running. You got to have that social awareness, guys. Got to have that social awareness. It's very important. And then last but not least, number 4 is relationship management. Look at Jasmine. Jasmine is over here flexing on us. I haven't missed the mornings with Nano since 2019. Jasmine could literally, she's probably heard this training 5 times. I've done this training at least in 3 years. I've done this training solid 4 or 5 times, I would say. But number 4 of emotional intelligence is relationship management. Being able to influence others, being able to inspire others by leading by example. That is what relationship management is. Being a solid relationship builder. These are things, these are areas in my life that I still work on till this day. Being better at building relationships. I've had a problem with that in the past. And I say I no longer have that problem, but in the past I did have a problem with that because, I was building relationships with people, and then, bro, a month later, 3 months later, a year later, they were gone. And I'm like, bro, I'm wasting my time building relationships with certain people. And I was looking at it in the wrong way. I was looking at it in a way where, I was making myself the victim. And it sucks, bro, when you build relationships with people, you pour into people, you mentor people, you invest into people, and then those same people be the ones that leave you, the same people that quit on you. Like, that's not cool, bro. Like, I invested into you, bro. Like, I put time into you. I built that relationship with you. And yeah, I get it. Like, things happen in life, but I don't think that's cool, bro. I don't think that's cool. I'd never do that to my people that invested into me. Never do that, bro. And then and it's not about it's not the fact that they didn't want to do it, it's how they do it. It's how they do it. It's not about the fact that you don't want to do it. Cool, I get it. It's not for you. But bro, not even a phone call, not even a text. I gotta find out through social media. I don't even get the respect for you to pick up the phone call and like, yo, bro, it doesn't work out for me. I wish you the best. Maybe in the future, maybe it could go around, but right now it's not for me. Nah, but they'll literally just ghost you, not say a word to you, and make you feel like you did something wrong. They won't answer none of your text messages, phone calls, none of that. And like, guys, look, if you're on this call, listen to me really quick. If you're on this call, I know that out of the 500 people that are on this call, not everybody's going to be here long term. It's the reality of things. If somebody puts you on to a business, if somebody puts you on to something, out of respect for that person, you pick up the phone and you let them know, like, yo, this is not for me anymore. Don't just ghost the person. Don't just ignore the person. Pick up the phone. Yo, Alberta, look, sis, I appreciate you so much for putting me onto this business. I don't think this is going to be for me. I'm going to focus on other things in life. I just want you to know that I appreciate you so much. Thank you so, so much for introducing me to this business. I don't think I'm in the right mind space to run this right now. Maybe in the future I will. But I just wanted to let you know, out of my respect for you and my respect for everything that you've done for me, that this is not for me right now. And guess what? And that's fine. And that's fine. And the people that have done that and have called me and have made that have had that conversation with me, bro, there's people that are not in my business no more that I still hang out with, that I still talk to, that I still FaceTime, that I still go to dinners with. Just because they can't be a part of my business doesn't mean that we can't be in relationship, that we can't have a relationship. Doesn't mean we still can't build a business together. But the people that just left didn't even have a conversation with me. Nah, bro. Yeah, I don't want to deal with you. I don't want you in my life. It's cool. I still want you to win. I still want to see you win, but you just won't eat at my table, and that's okay. And that's how life is. Remember, my mentor always, Matt says, you love them on the way in and you love them more on the way out. You got to love them more on the way out because you got to love them even more for what they're doing to you. Relationship management is very important in this business. I always look at it. I don't burn no bridges, bro. I don't know who in life one day is going to be able to help me, give me the sauce, put me onto a business opportunity, get me out of a situation, know somebody that I need to know. Like, I don't burn bridges, bro, for nothing in the world. If it doesn't work, then it doesn't work, but they'll know straight up from me and I'll be always honest and truthful. But that's how it is, fam. And that's how we all got to be. This is so key. So key. Relationships are worth more than any business, bro. Relationships are worth more than money, bro. I read this book. It's called Principles by Ray Dalio. Ray Dalio is a billionaire investor. And in the book, he taught a few things that I remember off the top of my head. But one of the things I remember was he said that money, he said that relationships are more valuable than money because he said money has no intrinsic value, right? He said money has no real value because if you think about it, you know, we could throw money on the floor, we could do this. He said no intrinsic. Let me just remember, let me look up the word intrinsic value. He said intrinsic. I think I'm spelling it wrong. Intrinsic value definition. Here it is. Intrinsic value is a measure of what an asset is actually worth, right? So he said it really has no intrinsic value, right? So what he's saying is that the real value comes in the relationships, right? There's no real value in the money. The money is cool. The money helps you do good things, but the real value comes in the relationships, bro. There's certain relationships that I have with people here that money can never buy. There's no amount of money that I would take for certain relationships that I have here. I would rather keep that relationship with those individuals than the money that I would get from somewhere else. I've been offered 6 figures to go work for other companies. I'm serious. I've been offered 6 figures. Like, Nino, we got 6 figures for you right now if you come and work for our company. If you come and be a mindset educator for our company. Can you come? And I say no every time. I've been offered 6 figures multiple times. Can you come and at least sit at lunch with us? No. I don't even want to go because I'm going to waste your time. I don't even want to go because I'm not going anywhere. I said, even if you give me $1 million, I won't go. Those were the exact words that I texted. They were literally telling me like, bro, you won't even sit down for us, even though we have a 6-figure, even though we have a 6-figure contract on the table for you. I said, bro, I'd literally text, not even if you gave me $1 million. Not even if you gave me $1 million right now in cash, like, here, Nano, this is for you. Not even if you gave me $1 million. You know why? Because of the relationships that I've built. Some of you guys will be like, well, bro, if you gave me $1 million, I'm out. I'm gone. I need the money, bro. I'm out. I need the money, bro. I need to take care of my family. I could have did the same. I could have thought about it too. The same thing. I'm like, bro, I could buy my mom a house with this. But I wasn't thinking that. thought about the relationships that I built, the relationships that mean the world to me, the relationships that money can't even buy. Because guess what? That money's going to come. I'm going to spend that money, but the relationships that I had are gone now. And those relationships are worth more than anything that money can ever buy. And that's where people lose themselves. The money blinds them and they don't see the power in the relationships. I know people that have gave up a relationship with me for money. And that's going to cost them down the road. Because guess what? They had access. They had proximity. But because they chose to go another route, they chose to go for the money, which is okay. I get it. They needed it at the time and they did me wrong. I'm like, bro, that's fine. I forgive them. But the thing is that, guess what? At the end of the day, now you'll never have access to me, which now you lose out on millions and millions and millions of dollars of information. You miss out on access. You miss out on just so much, and you miss out on having a real person in your life. The people that you go and do and make this money with, they're never going to do the things that I did for you. When you were broke, I was there. When you needed food, I was there. So people tend to overlook those things sometimes. And it's not to throw it in people's faces. It's just so that people can be aware of who was there when you needed it and who's there now that you have it all. You got to remember those things, and you got to be paying attention to those things. Who opened that door for you? How could I ever, for example, my brother Darwin Lopez, Matt Rosa, Matt Gribby, right? Jason Brown, Alex Morton, Sean Murphy. These are mentors of mine that opened the door for me. But even just specifically, let me just Darwin Lopez, for example, right? Just Darwin as an example. My bro Darwin was the one that introduced me to this business. How could I ever in my whole entire life try to do my bro dirty or try to do something behind his back? Or it can't even be a thought in my mind. I don't know how people do it. I don't know how people have the dignity to do things to people that have done everything for them. I told Darwin, I'm like, bro, I'm here with you to the end, bro. Till the wheels fall off, till the ship sinks. I'm here with you, bro. I don't care about money, bro. I care about what you did for me, bro, when I had nothing, when I was on the block smoking weed, rolling dices every day. Forget about the money that we've made. Forget about the money that I can make over here, over there. What you did for me, my brother, I'm loyal to that, fam. But I guess that's just the New York in me. That's the New York loyalty in me. I don't even have thoughts. It doesn't matter how many struggles we go through. It doesn't matter if it all falls apart tomorrow and we got to build it from scratch today. It doesn't matter. I will always be here by your side, bro. And he knows that. He knows that. And that's the kind of attitude that everybody needs to have with people that have done you, because it's like KD said, loyalty over royalty every time. Remember this, guys, it's never the company, it's always the people. A lot of people always blame things on companies and on this, on that. It's always the people, fam. Loyalty is important and it's rare. Loyalty is rare. Rare, rare, rare. And that's the truth. It's always so rare, family. So when you find those people that are loyal and that are there, keep them close. Because, you won't have many of those people in your life. Not everybody has those qualities. Not everybody was built with that quality. And that's okay. Remember, everybody's doing their best to their level of consciousness that they understand. But for you guys that are on this call, you have to and you must make sure that your relationship management is on point. You have to make Stop. You have to make sure that your relationship management is on point, fam, and that's the key. So, 4 levels of emotional intelligence, right? Number 1, self-awareness. All right. Number 2 is self-management. Number 3 is social awareness. And number 4 is relationship management. Don't ever let your emotions get the best of you, fam. It'll cost you in this business, in life, in anything that you do. It'll cost you. Don't let the emotions of the situation make you make a decision that could cost you long term. I've seen so many people make decisions based off of emotions that were created from false assumptions, from false accusations, right? You got to make sure that you are very, very aware of everything that happens in your life. You got to see it through. You got to think logically, not emotionally, and see it all the way through, regardless of what's going on in your life. Your emotional intelligence will make you the most money and will make you the most successful if you learn it. If you learn what I covered here today, you will be very successful, because remember this, guys, loyalty pays, and it pays a lot. And it pays a lot. Pays a lot more than you guys will ever imagine, bro. Because when there's people out there, a lot of people get tested. And when you get tested and you realize that even though they got tested and they stuck with you, you realize that from certain people. You're like, damn, I went through a tough time, but even though I went through this tough time, they stayed by my side. Even though I messed up and I made a mistake, they stood by my side. Darwin has made plenty of mistakes down the road. In the last 4 years, so many mistakes. Never once did I say, bro, I'm leaving your side. I understood it was a mistake. People make mistakes, and I get that, and I understand that. People make mistakes. Matt Rosa makes mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. I could live with that, because that proves that they're human.
Being human.
Proves that they're human. But I'm not gonna leave somebody or be disloyal to somebody because of a mistake. They were doing what they could with what they knew. If they knew better, they would do better, right? And you got to understand that, right? And I love that, Maria, what you said in the chat. First, start being loyal to yourself, and that's a fact. Can't be loyal to others if you're not loyal to yourself. And that's what it's all about, fam. So make sure that your loyalty stays solid, not to me, to God, to God's purpose for you, to yourself. See it all the way through, fam. Trust me, guys, there's not many people like us in this world. There's not many out there like us. We are the very, very few of people in this world that actually care, that actually want to do things long term. There's so few of us. Very, very few. Very, very few. Principles over feelings every time. That's a fact. And that's key, family. So I hope you guys got some value. If you guys got value from the 4 levels of emotional intelligence, put a 4 in the chat box. If you guys got value from this, 4 in the chat box. I'm super excited for us. Good call. Keep your emotions in check all week. Keep your emotions in check all week. I really know that this group is going to do something very powerful, and we're going to do something very impactful over the next few years of our lives. As long as we stay loyal, not to me, not to the Mornings with Nano, but loyal to God's purpose for us on this earth. So all we got to do, stay loyal to God's purpose for us. I'm loyal to that. God gave me a purpose on this earth, and I'm going to live it out because I'm loyal to his word and what I told him I would do. God forbid I was unloyal to the word of God. Right. So yes, it's my B-Day week. My birthday is on Wednesday, and we will definitely be having mornings with Nano. And I'm excited for that. And I'm just excited, fam. I'm just excited. I'm excited for everything that's coming our way. All right, fam. So that wraps up today's call. Quick prayer, and then we're gonna head up out of here, guys. So quick prayer, everybody, bow your heads and let's pray. Father God, thank you so much for blessing us with another beautiful Monday morning where we get to wake up and have a great start to our week. We are so blessed and so grateful for the lessons that you teach us each and every single day. And, today's lesson was a very powerful and impactful one, talking about emotional intelligence and keeping our emotions in check, understanding the importance of our thoughts and our relationships and other people in our lives. And this is one of the most key trainings of all time right here. And we ask that you help us apply this information to the best of our ability. We ask that you also help us with judging the difference between when we should react and when we should respond. It's just so much that happens in our lives, and each and every single day we're going to be tested in our emotional intelligence. So we ask that you please be there and allow us to make the right decisions each and every single time, that we make the right logical decisions that are going to help us and align with our purpose on earth, which is to help impact the lives of hundreds and thousands and millions of people all around the world. So we are so thankful for the lessons that you continue to teach us. Keep our emotions in check. We only want emotions of happiness, love, gratitude, peace, enlightenment. Only those emotions that align with the life that you want us to live, God, is the only ones that we need. Get rid of any emotions that have to do with fear, doubt, insecurity, stress, overwhelmness, anything that doesn't serve us. God, release those emotions from our body. We don't need them anymore. We only need feelings of joy and above, Father. Thank you so much for this. We continue to pray for those who need healing. My sister Eunice, my brother Jason Brown and his family, and anybody else on this call that needs healing. We continue to pray for you guys. God, we pray that you put your hand over those individuals that need healing and continue to guide those individuals through this process. But with that being said, we love you so much and we appreciate you so much. Let's go out there and have a great week filled with abundance, filled with greatness, filled with peace, love. And since it's my birthday week, let's have an even amazing more week. So we love you so much, God. We appreciate you. In your name we pray. And in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. 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 All right, family. So with that being said, I love you guys. I hope you guys have a blessed rest of your week. Remember, make sure that your emotions are in check. Print out that emotional guidance scale and keep your emotions above 1 through 5 only. 1 through 5, 1 through 5 only. So I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And I'll see you guys back here tomorrow for another episode of Mornings with Nano. Enjoy the rest of your day. Let's get it.